We're going to move on to the next item of business, which is an urgent question. Can I call Jackie Bailey?
Thank you, Presiding Officer. To ask the Scottish Government whether the Lord Advocate was consulted about the letter from the Crown Office to the Scottish Parliamentary Corporate Body in relation to the evidence from Alex Salmond published by the Parliament.
Lord Advocate.
No, I was not. The decisions in relation to this matter were made by senior professional prosecutors acting independently, as they always do, and without reference to the law officers. And can I take the opportunity to add this? Scotland's public prosecutors take difficult decisions which some may find unpopular. They take those decisions objectively, professionally, and in the public interest, and they act independently of any other person.
Thank you very much. Jackie Bailey.
Can I thank the Lord Advocate for his response? I note that he said that he wasn't consulted, but could I ask, was he aware of what was going on? Because it would be really helpful to know the process that went before the letter was issued to the Parliament. Did the Crown Office receive any submissions from any third party before they wrote to the SPCB yesterday? Was it Mr Donnelly who was contacted? Was the Crown agent David Harvey consulted? Did this even go across your desk before it was issued?
Lord Advocate.
I received a copy of the letter for my information after it had been issued.
Jackie Bailey.
I note the Lord Advocate didn't answer any of my previous questions, and I'm sure he might want to take the opportunity in answer to my next question to go back and cover the stuff he didn't answer before. But can I ask him about the meeting held between Levy and McRae with the Crown in advance of the hearing with Lady Dorian? It was confirmed at that meeting that the Crown's sole concern was one paragraph in their article about the former First Minister's ministerial code submission. No other concerns were raised, nor have they been raised subsequently. So given this article has been up and is still up since the 15th of January, and this is essentially Mr Salmond's submission, can he perhaps advise what has changed in the Crown Office?
Lord Advocate.
Can I start by saying that I'm not going to get into the substance of the issues here, not least because in doing so there would be a risk in myself in breaching the court order. Can I also say that fundamentally what's at issue here is an order by the High Court handed down to protect the anonymity of complainers. The Crown's sole interest in this matter, is to secure respect for that court order. It has not sought and will not seek to limit the evidence which the committee may have available to it, nor to interfere with the work of the committee. Ultimately, it's for the parliamentary authorities to determine what they may lawfully publish within the bounds of the order laid down by the court. The Crown, as it does with any case where it apprehends that a contempt may take place, raises issues and concerns, and its sole purpose in doing so is to secure compliance with the order laid down by the court.
Thank you. And Donald Cameron.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. Can I refer to my register of interest as a member of the Faculty of Advocate? It is fundamental to democracy in Scotland that this Parliament is free to conduct its business without external pressure from government agencies. Does the Lord Advocate agree that the actions of Crown Office over the last week threaten that freedom and also show the inherent conflict in the Lord Advocate being both the government's chief legal advisor attending Cabinet and the independent head of Scotland's prosecution service?
Lord Advocate.
If I can take the first point, I don't accept the proposition in the least. The Crown has, as I said a moment ago, no interest in interfering with or limiting the conduct of proceedings in this Parliament. Its only interest is securing observation and compliance with an order of the High Court with which we are all obliged to comply, whether in this Parliament or otherwise. As it does with any anticipated publication which may amount to a contempt of court, The Crown considered whether it should raise concerns with the parliamentary authorities. It took the view that it should. It was ultimately a matter for the parliamentary authorities, taking their own legal advice, to determine what they should or should not publish. The Crown, having raised the concerns which it has raised, has exhausted its interest in this matter and has absolutely no interest in otherwise limiting the activities or conduct of business in this Parliament. So far as the member's other question is concerned, can I say this? All law officers exercise their prosecutorial functions with complete independence. My job is to uphold the rule of law and the administration of justice in Scotland, and that is what I do. I may say I was appointed to this office on the basis that I have no party political affiliation, but whether I did or did not, it's a safeguard for the rule of law that there are senior lawyers in government appointed on a non-party basis whose fundamental responsibility it is to protect the integrity of the administration of justice in Scotland. And can I also be clear that at no time have I encountered any situation in which ministers have sought to influence a prosecutorial decision. If any minister were to try to do so, I would not countenance it, nor I am confident would any professional prosecutor who acts on my behalf. Ministers know that they should not seek to do it, and they don't do it.
Thank you. And Tom Arthur.
Officer, the Office of Lord Advocate is one of the oldest in the land. It predates this Parliament, it predates the Union of Parliaments, it predates the Union of the Crowns. However, there has been, in my experience, a great deal of misinformation being spread on the role of the Lord Advocate. So can I ask the Lord Advocate to confirm that previous Lord Advocates through devolution have all been members of Cabinet? And in fact, can the Lord Advocate confirm that it has always been thus? It was the same when Donald Dewar was First Minister, when Henry McLeish was First Minister, when Jack McConnell was First Minister, and when Alex Salmond was First Minister. And furthermore, can the Lord Advocate confirm that entirely separate from his Cabinet role, the Lord Advocate fulfils a distinct and independent prosecutorial function as Head of the Crown Office?
Thank you. I would just comment that it's a fair question from the member. I'm not entirely sure it's quite following the urgent question today, but I will allow the Lord Advocate to make a brief response to that history lesson from Mr Arthur.
Well, I'm grateful, Presiding Officer. Can I say that law officers, long before devolution and at all times since devolution, have been members of the government? At no time has it been suggested that law officers are compromised in the exercise of their prosecutorial functions by the fact that they are members of the government. As I said a moment ago, it is a safeguard for the rule of law that there are senior lawyers in government whose fundamental responsibility it is to protect the integrity of the administration of justice.
Thank you very much. And that concludes our urgent question.